Gotta die sometime.
My God, what a week we've had for games. The group stages complete, and we were not just sitting behind the scenes laughing up a storm, laughing about numbers. We definitely were not doing that. North America in shambles. The West has one unlikely hero left. The East widens the gap between everybody. Welcome everybody to the almost said Right and Chill podcast. Welcome to the Super Mega Death podcast with Emperor and Julius here. We are on episode 3, where today we are going to break down the groups, transition that into the quarterfinals. We got a new champion to take a look at, and then the end of the episode is the perfect fitting for the end of the season. Excited to take a look at that. And Chulis, how are you feeling?
Doing good. We are all here. We're getting pumped.
All two of us.
We're ready. We're ready because I was 100% right about this. 100% right about this.
100% right?
Yes, right.
You weren't 100% right.
Okay, I wasn't 100%.
Okay, we discussed pick'ems before we got on, and I'm certain you were not 100% right.
But I was right about one thing, and we'll get into it later. But flying oysters, come on.
Yeah, we'll get into that later and how little that team did.
Team just crush.
Much to my
Serious.
expectations. A lot of my predictions were semi-right, not entirely all right. But this isn't about me. This isn't about her. This is about the games. It's about me. But we're gonna go ahead and start it with Group A. We had T1 taking it, the 5-1 record. EDG finishing at 4-2. Fnatic, Cloud9 did not pass with a 2-4 record and a 1-5 record. What was your biggest surprise with this group?
My biggest surprise, I thought Cloud9 would actually play a lot better. They are a team that has played across international waters as well, so it's kind of very disappointing to see that they weren't at their top level in this group. And I don't know, it's just very disappointing to me. That was the only thing, but you know, we all knew the LCK, the LPL were going to be the top two. So
yeah, I agree with you for that, because we like to talk about the gap between the East and the West, and people like to say that the gap is shrinking, and this just kind of proved that gap is pretty wide open. My big surprise for that was how Fnatic began and how Fnatic ended. I mean, you start off the group 2-0, and you make people think, oh my god, this could actually be a team that, you know, does something. They took a game off T1 in dominating fashion, and you think, oh my god, this is going to be... Fnatic's got a good shot this year. And I remember there was an article on Humanoid. He was talking about, you know, when they were 2-1, how, you know, this team, they're very surprised with how they're playing. They're riding the momentum. They think they have a real shot. And then they drop 3 games after that and find themselves out of the running. And yeah, I agree that we knew it was the LCK and the LPL advancing in that group stage. I think a lot of Fnatic fans or Cloud9 fans were very shocked, but much to your point, I thought that Cloud9 was going to kind of put up more of a fight than they did.
yeah, not just only the fight with Fanatics, but also C9. These two teams have been in Worlds, in MSI, with all these LPL. I would have thought by now we would have started developing a strategy when it comes to playing with international teams, but clearly, as you can see, we don't. C9
No.
was 1-5, and the only team they beat was Fanatics.
Yeah, which is cool for the NAU rivalry, because it's ha ha ha, we beat you. Na 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 na.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's the only team that we beat was the team that's also not going to be in Worlds either. So it's
But see, this is how we can look at things. Fnatic beat T1. Cloud9 beat Fnatic. Therefore, Cloud9 by was it Transitional Property beat T1
One.
because Fnatic clapped T1 in that game, but Cloud9 clapped Fnatic, so that means Cloud9 Uber clapped T1.
And then Edward Gaming just clapped everyone.
Yeah, okay. They clapped everybody except T1.
One. That's it.
That was the only team that they did not clap. But there was also another group that was a pretty similar situation. Group B, JDG, Damwon Kia finished the group at 5-1, and then way down below in third and fourth is Evil Geniuses and G2 Esports. And for the record, Evil Geniuses, they did put them third. Would you like to know why?
Why?
Because they had a faster game time when they beat G2, so that means G2 technically finished fourth. That was the tiebreaker. So EG barely missing out by 4 games, but
they still didn't make it. As I said, like, honestly, it was every time I watched, every day was, is EU, is LCS going to make it out? That was literally the main topic for every single one of these groups. It was more like, they'll be like, yeah, you know, T1, Damwon Kia, yeah, they're gonna be there. EG, like, but everybody was like, JDG. There was a little success about that, so they actually thought that EU had a chance to make it, because I don't think Evil Geniuses was gonna make it in the top 2. But like my prediction was actually G2 and Damwon Kia.
yeah, JDG, like, even though they won Summer Split in the LPL, it's like they were, I think, a favorite by a lot of people to actually win the tournament, because a lot of the Eastern fans and whatnot, and a couple of the Western fans thought so as well. I know there's a lot of analysts that think, you know, JDG has a major shot to do it. But you take a look at what their group was. They had Damwon Kia in there. G2 is always overselling expectations. And then EG, well, I mean, okay, nobody in their right mind had EG making it out of groups.
Nobody.
Not a single soul. But yeah, this much like Group A, it was like you had 2 really good teams and then 2 really bad teams. It wasn't even like much of a contest. Like, and I think it was JDG did not lose their first game until their final game. When they played Damwon. So, and then of course JDG wins the tiebreaker thanks to Showmaker. Great job. Absolutely throwing
Really
the
good
game.
job. Very.
Ruining my pick'ems. I would have gotten Group B perfect had Showmaker not thrown the team fight, but that is for another time. But yeah, anything really surprising in that group other than the
like
absolute gap?
This was another big gap difference that everybody can tell that you don't mess with the LPL and the LCK. Like,
No, you really don't.
You don't, like,
just when you think the gap is shrinking. Oh, I almost said shrieking. Shrinking.
Well, it was shrieking.
yeah, we were doing a lot of shrieking. That's for damn sure.
Sure. I feel like, yeah, but this group was, just another, like, kind of like a terror group. Like, the first group was like hell. The second group was like, okay, the second level of Dante's Infernal.
Yep.
And then, it was just kind of like a given group, except, the LPL. That was the only thing. I kind of thought, maybe G2 did have a chance.
Yeah. They vastly underperformed.
Very underperformed.
Like, for a team with that kind of star power, you have Yankos Caps, who's probably one of the best mid jungle duos. Not just in the LEC, but like in the world itself. How are they on a 1-5 team?
Yeah, it was very like I wouldn't say depressing, but it was very underwhelming to watch. So I actually, Group B, I didn't really watch as much of it because I was just like over it. I was like, okay, I'm done with this.
Yeah, it's like, okay, is there Korea versus NA? Okay, Korea's gonna win. If is it Korea versus EU? All right, Korea's gonna win. Same with the LPL. But yeah, one group that was a little bit more interesting was Group C. We had DRX taking the first seed, Rogue sliding into that 2 seed, Top Esports from the LPL and Vietnam's GAM Esports not making the cut.
Mm-mm-mm.
I think we're both going to have a pretty similar surprise with this group.
Exactly. But you know what? I was actually pretty impressed with top esports. 3-3. Come on, that's better than 1-5.
True.
Honestly, thought they would had a you know a little bit more of a fight, and they did bring up a fight. They really did. Against DRX, which DRX played phenomenally. Like,
Oh my god. DRX killed it
beautiful,
this group. They were actually
beautiful
very,
plays.
very good. But
Beautiful
like
plays. And Rogue. Rogue was my. I was like, where did this come from? Because Rogue
Yeah.
before was not a great team. Like, nobody rooted for Rogue.
you get Rogue end of the first week at 3-0, and you look at it like, do they have a chance? Because everyone's looking at Fnatic, everyone's looking at G2 as like Europe's hopes, and here comes Rogue, like Super Rogue coming in there. But one of the biggest dilemmas with this group actually came with the top esports GAM game, where what an absolute insane game. If you are watching this podcast, you have yet to watch that game, please go back and watch it. It was an absolute treat. Basically, Jackie Love steals the Elder Drake, and they go to run down mid to take the Nexus. Karthus is in base. Karthus throws an ult, and Top Esports comes within 2 auto attacks of hitting the Nexus.
Yes.
And then GAM comes back and wins. Now, the issue that lies there is there happened to have been a bug that was not paused for. The Lucian had Maw of Mortius, which is supposed to cause a shield after the threshold that was dealt magic damage. So the Karthus ult knocked Lucian down to 60 health, but did not proc the shield. And a lot of people talking about Kadril, especially on his stream, that all Lucian had to do was walk forward, throw the W to proc the passive, auto the Nexus twice, Top wins the game, and if everything plays out as it did, Top would play Rogue for that second seed. So again, Riot coming in with the spaghetti, and the fact that we have these kind of bugs at the World Championship, the most prestige tournament for League, it's absolutely unacceptable. And I mean, it is what it is. There, a lot of people, like, to their points, it shouldn't have had to have come down to a bug to win the game. If there's a lot of things prior to that you could have done better to win the game. It wouldn't have relied on that one thing. But yeah, I mean, end of the day, I mean, Rogue gets that second spot. DRX comes in with a tiebreaker. Rogue looked like they could 6-0, but then they kind of dropped the last 2, and then I mean, and that's the thing, because like they lost to DRX and Top. So whenever we get to quarterfinals, it's going to be interesting to see Rogue's progression in the best of 5.
True. No, talking about bugs, like there was a lot of bugs. They even like at one point disabled Oriana. It was just like,
yes, and she got enabled, and NA got their first win. And I said it on Reddit. I have to find it now. I usually don't like to pull up random things, and it was like one of my best Reddit posts of all time. It was the LPL outdated, LEC overrated, long we have awaited, NA Oriana activated.
yeah, actually that was pretty good.
So that was one of those, like, it was funny because it's like you give Jensen his champion, and Jensen pops off on that Ori game, and it was so crazy. But yeah, like, the bugs were ridiculous. And the fact that Riot was relying on the players catching the bugs at the World Championship as opposed to them fixing it, or fixing bugs going into it, is just showing complete incompetency and just complete lack of brain power for fixing the damn game.
Yeah, honestly, Riot, you were pretty sloppy. Like, you're sloppy.
Well, before Riot sues us for defamation, we don't want to have to go to a Johnny Depp trial here with Riot. But we had Group D, Gen G, and RNG 1 and 2 at 5 and 1. And then, much like Group B, the not Korea LPL representatives, 100 Thieves and the CTBC Flying Oyster, 1-5. I know Chulis has something she wants to say about the Flying Oysters.
I told you guys, if you watched last podcast, I told you, I was like, Flying Oysters is gonna come into this game and gonna do something that we are gonna totally hate. And guess what they did? They defeated 100 Thieves, and everyone was losing their mind. Like, I literally was sitting there rooting for Flying Oysters. Like, yeah, like it was just pretty hilarious. Like, I thought Flag Horses against 100 Thieves, they played phenomenally. They played a different style I never saw before. It was a lot of engaging,
Oh yeah.
a lot of bot focus engaging as well. But it was honestly, I was in tears because I was like, I know the LCS 100 Thieves did not just lose to a team called CTBC Flying Oysters. I lost it. I was yelling at the top. I was like, yeah. But oh my god, I wish,
The Oyster Parade.
I loved it. I loved it. I was like, it was kind of like one of those like, you know, upsets like that you don't expect, but you were just like, is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? Like, this was something like new that we needed.
Yeah, and it's funny like that they had Flying Oyster versus 100 Thieves first game for that team. So Flying Oysters go 1-0, and it's like, could they 6-0 the group? Could they 6-0? And it's like, oh, 1-5.
I mean, it was a good, mini run at it, but it did kind of like spark the whole like, oh my god, 100 Thieves just lost to, sorry, Flying Oysters, but you're not really a big team. But to not a big team, like, you lost to a team that isn't that big, that nobody knows about on the first game. So it kind of just set the mood. Like, it was pretty, it made me hyped.
Yeah, the one thing that I noticed well for this group, and I feel terrible for their opponents, but Gen G was the sleeping beast that was awoken day one whenever RNG clapped Gen G, and then they just turn it around and go absolutely off and then smash RNG the last game and then smash them again in the tiebreaker. They smashed them worse in the tiebreaker.
Yeah. The tiebreaker was disgusting. Like, it was
it was Korea versus NA basically. Like, and this is nuts because RNG is supposed to be one of the favorites to win it. They're the MSI champion, coming back to try to win Worlds. And you have Gen G, who is the first time that they've won LCK. When they 3-0'd T1 in, like, dominating fashion. So, you're expecting a close game. And we got a close game the first time around until it wasn't. But then Gen G smashes them twice, back-to-back, to take first seed. Like, no one thought that RNG was going to tie that group. And then lose the tiebreaker. Come on. Like, RNG, are you kidding? They've smashed everybody.
Group D was something very, very interesting. We were just, I don't know, maybe it was just the whole hype of me rooting for the Flying Oysters, but, like, it was a pretty, Group D was the most interesting, action-packed, like, group ever. Because usually you're just like, yeah, it's gonna be LCK, LPL, but this was, like, they are literally, like, going for their throats back to back.
How's now? Like, we'll talk about before we hop into quarterfinals. This kind of an overall group stage for, or overall statistic for group stage. North America going 3-15 in group stage. Are you incredibly surprised that the number of wins out of 18 games was 3?
No, I'm not. I mean, honestly, I kind of really thought that, so I did have little hope that the LCS would maybe bring a little bit more to the table because we're hosting, show a little bit of, that America pride. But it was, as you can see, 3-15. Yeah, that sounds like one of my old test scores that I got in high school.
That sounds like a real North America thing.
That sounds like North America's education system.
Oh, oh,
Yeah.
that wasn't fair.
But come on, you can't tell me were you really giving hope that much of that hopium to it?
I had so much hope. Not that NA would win, but that NA would perform. And we did 3 times. That's it. But now to flip the script, literally, LCK 15-3.
We should have been perfect score.
Should have been perfect.
We should have been perfect. We should have. But we were not, clearly.
Oh wait, no, I was entirely wrong. Actually, I completely messed that up.
Oh, did you? I was be like, what?
I did. They were actually 19 and 5.
Wow.
Yep, 19 and 5. So they actually, yeah, they were 19 and 5. LPL was 17 and 7. So far, LCK reigns supreme as far as the regular season goes.
I mean, is that not normal?
I mean, it's not entirely normal. No, I mean, it is kind of normal, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would have been very, like, shocked if we had to, like, flip those numbers. Like,
yeah. Yep. And then to round that off, LEC, the other major region in there, 7 and 11. They did not perform as well themselves, but they did get a team out of groups, so they win this installment of NA versus EU.
Mm-hmm.
But
yes, they did.
Transitioning into the quarterfinal matchups, we'll basically go over each matchup, give a prediction on who we think is going to take the W here. First one, we got JDG first in their group versus Rogue second in their group. I will go first on this one. I think it's a 3-0 JDG. They take it. It's not even going to be close. Yeah, I just think that Rogue's going to get completely outclassed in a best of 3. They surprised people, but I think that they were definitely exposed by DRX and Top on the second halves of the games, where DRX and Top improved on that, where Rogue just kind of kept playing their own style. It was figured out. It's very, very straightforward. You play towards bot side, you put Larson on a control mage, and if you counter that, you win. But yeah, I'm saying 3-0. It's not even going to be close.
Really? Okay. So I'm the same thing as you. I feel like JDG is going to take a 3-0 win. Like,
Yep.
I as you said, like, Rogue started playing their own way. Like, if they don't, the only way I can see them maybe making it a little bit more of a, like, a challenge for JDG is if they start to incorporate meta change. So if they start changing their tactics, but you know what? It's EU. We saw how they most of all their other teams tanked, and the LPL and LCK are clearly in here. So
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, that's that.
Well, we have a every time. It never fails, and it's always the same time. It's my alarm to remember myself to take the garbage out. I really got to learn to put that on silent whenever we're doing this. But all right, I'll let you take the first part here. T1 RNG. I swear to God, we get this matchup every time we have a world championship or at MSI. Like, these teams are incredible. So it's not a surprise that they're in this stage, but I'm always like, come on, script writers, give me something a little bit different.
I feel like this is gonna be a really, so it's out of, they're not gonna get, T1 is not gonna 3-0 RNG. I really would love them to 3-0 RNG, but I think it's gonna be, I don't know, it's really rough. Like, I feel like T1 will take for game 1, RNG will take game 2, T1 will take game 3, and then RNG is gonna take game 4. So I'm gonna go 3-2 T1 winning. I think it's gonna be more of a challenge here because RNG is a pretty good team, and they've always been the type of team that would have T1 become sloppy in their plays.
Yeah, it's mostly because you take a look at RNG, Gala and Ming are an incredible bot lane. They like to play a lot through bot lane. Wade does an incredible job of getting around the map. They kind of leave Breathe on his own, and Xiaohu does a lot of roaming as well. So they have a lot of the mid jungle roams where T1 does have that, depending on the comp, but most of the time it's put Faker on something that he can get to the mid game and then carry the team. And then you play towards your bot side and you kind of leave Zeus on an island, or because he has the mechanics to outplay a 1v2 top side, so you don't have to really put too much focus on him. But I'm actually agreeing with you that it's going to be a 3-2 for T1. I think each team will show their mistakes and another team will capitalize on the next game. But I think game 5 is going to come down to whether or not T1 can shut down the bot lane. If you get Gumayusi and Keria ahead, I do see that T1 can run away with the game, because we take a look at what happened with Genji and RNG in the tiebreaker game. It was an absolute stomping because they got shut down. Bot lane got shut down, could not do anything. Xiaohu could not roam and get leads anywhere. Wei was on the back foot. Breathe couldn't do anything. And it was just an absolute stomp in all 3 lanes. I think if anybody is going to copy Genji's style for this, it would be T1. Because T1 and Genji like to play similar styles.
Yes.
It's just so I do think they will take it. I would not be surprised if Keria busts out something in game 5. Maybe we get another Sin support. Maybe we'll see an adaptation of when for Rogue, when Trimby picked the Gnosis support. Maybe we'll see Keria. We'll see Keria bust that up, or we'll see a Heimer again. Will we see a Heimerdinger support? That was so cool.
I think that was to satisfy the crowd. Honestly, that was not intent. I think they just went off script and said, "Yeah, they're like, okay, like we are making it."
All right, next group, we actually have a battle of 2 Korean teams. Genji, the winner of the LPL, and Damwon Kia, the winner of the regional qualifier, are going to be in a best of 5. I will take this one first because this is a very, very, very touchy one for me. I love both teams. I'm excited that I get to see a high-stakes match between Chovy and Showmaker. I'm excited that I get to see Peanut versus Canyon. These are just... those mid-jungles are 2 things that I love so much. And it's going to be a very, very tough series because I think jungle-wise, Canyon has done it before. He could gap Peanut. Chovy and Showmaker, that's a really up-in-the-air one. Duck Dam versus Ruler, Kellen versus how am I blanking out on?
Yeah, I got you.
I'm completely blanking out. Damwon support. It's Kellen.
Support. Genji.
I'm pretty sure it's Kellen.
I think it is Kellen.
Or is Kellen Genji's?
No, Kellen's not Genji. Legends? No.
Lehans.
Lehans.
Oh, Lehans is Genji. Good God, I forgot.
Kellen, you're right.
Kellen is DK. I'm sorry, Lehans. I forgot you. I'm so sorry. I got I had it in my head. I just lost it. I lost all train of thought. Literally trying to think of my prediction for it. So I'm going to be. My prediction's going to seem like it's not close, but it's going to be closer than it is. Genji 3-1.
Ooh.
That hurt to say. It hurts.
I think this is where we're the opposite. I'm actually 3-2 Damwon Kia.
You have your LCK representative, number 1 seed representative, losing to Damwon.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wouldn't doubt that because Damwon is the dark horse of this tournament. Like,
they are literally the destroyers. Like, they destroyed T1, and now they're gonna go after Genji. Like,
yeah, sorry, I
forget it.
misspoke on it. Damwon was not the regional qualifier; they were the 3rd seed coming in. I messed that up. But okay, so we're a little bit different on one. I'm excited to see what we're on this one. DRX, who was the winner of the regional qualifier, taking on Edward Gaming. So, there's, you know what? I'm not gonna go into too much detail on it. I would love to see Deft, after all of his time on the international stage, make it. I watched in season 4 Samsung White versus Samsung Blue. He was on blue. I watched him lose the semifinals, and I watched him cry on that stage. And then the sister teams got up together, and they all took a bow together. Deft was in tears, and it was so heartbreaking to see. But I feel like I'm going to be seeing that again, because I got EDG 3-1 over DRX. I think DRX getting out or getting first in that group was big, but when you take a look at the level of competition, Top wasn't really in the best form. Rogue overperformed. Gams Esports absolutely underperformed. It's so hard to tell how good of a team that DRX really is, considering, you know, you didn't face like an RNG or an EDG in that group, or JDG. So many G's. But G's.
Jeez.
G's. But yeah,
a
like,
team with a G is going to win. Calling.
So a team with a G, so that means you don't pick T1 to win.
Oh no, I do pick T1 to win. Forget you guys.
Well,
you know that I am the conductor of the train.
All right,
Hop on.
Yeah, I'm saying ADG 3-1. Who do you got?
I'm actually going to say this. It's going to be a 3-0 EDG.
Whoa! A 3-0.
I feel like what you said is, yeah, it's going to be another scenario where you see Def and Braille just, like, I feel like there's going to be a synergy issue that they're not being able to connect in the early game or even get into that stable position, even in the mid and late game. I feel like something is going to mess their chemistry, and they're just gonna take it.
Yeah, I think when you take a look from the EDG side, like literally top to bottom, Flandre, JJ, Scout, Viper, Mako, I think they are just, yeah, like Viper. I think that he's gonna be the big difference maker. JJ is gonna be that aggressive jungler that kind of just shuts down Piosik, because Piosik is, well, whether they play Piosik, if they do play him, then it could very well be a 3-0, because he's good, but he's very consistent. He can carry hard or help sustain his team, but then there's also times where he'll just straight run it and be completely useless. But
yeah.
All right, so now that we have our groups discussion, and I kind of want to pick your brain on it a little bit further. So since you picked JDG and T1, if that happens to be the case, they would face in the semifinals the LCK representative seed 2 versus the LPL winners. I already feel like you're gonna pick T1 for that, but what would be the score for a JDG
T1?
T1?
It's gonna be a 3-2. It's gonna be a game, 100%. These the T1 and EG have history. Like, it's going to be a game. It's going to be a game where they are back and forth trying to adjust to each other's playstyle, try to make modifications along the games, and it's just going to be also another back and forth where they're trying to up the other team. So because I that's just how T1 flows. Like sometimes I feel like they do it on purpose, hopefully not. That they will lose the first game. T1 is going to lose the first game to get adjusted to the way that EDG is playing. They're going to lose the first game, get adjusted to their playstyle, come back, win game 2. EDG is going to switch again. They're going to win game 2. T1's going to take game 4, and then T1's going to take the win. I feel like that's how it's gonna be. Like usually I'll be like, oh no, T1's gonna win the first game. No. T1's gonna lose the first game, and then they're gonna win afterwards.
All right. So the next one, you actually had Damwon-Kia winning a close one against Gen G, and you think EDG is gonna smash DRX. Do you think that if they were to match up Damwon versus EDG, that it would be an easier matchup for EDG, or do you think Damwon has a shot to maybe upset that game as well? Because you already have them over Gen G. That's already a major upset. Can lightning strike twice in this hypothesis?
I mean, where I live at, anything is possible. um, so, I think, as I said, like Damwon-Kia is the dark horse. Like they are the Undertakers. They will literally come out of nowhere and just like surprise you with the way that they can adapt and change, and
they're basically your ghouls.
Exactly. Exactly.
You said Undertaker, and that's all I could think of was Yorick.
And they're gonna be a Yorick. They're gonna like literally do the most craziest like split push, and you're gonna be like, where was this? You know?
Damwon, if you win Worlds, please make sure that you at least pick Yorick one time, just so we can see like a giant Damwon-Kia logo running down lane, just knocking down turrets.
But I definitely do see JDG, so many G's, kind of bringing in their A game. Like they were literally on point in groups. So I think it's gonna be a 3-2 with JDG winning.
EDG.
JDG.
No, JDG's on versus T1.
Oh, that's right.
EDG's playing Damwon.
EDG.
Too many G's.
EDG. Too many goddamn G's.
So you're saying an EDG 3-2.
2. Yes.
So Damwon gets close to getting that second upset. And then, I have to pick your brain with this one more time. Because how you're making it seem is that it's going to be a T1 versus EDG finals. Is this another one? Is this where T1 again flirts with losing the series? Or is this going to be...
No, we're not flirting. We're not flirting. We're here for blood. This could possibly... The reason why I'm saying this is because this could possibly be retirement year. Okay.
All right. I'm intrigued. Let's go.
So this possibly could be that. And like also, T1 has not had a win in a while. Like, they'll probably be like, hey guys, we gotta, Faker's like in the back, like, wake up, we're getting this win here.
2016 North America.
Was
the last time Faker held the trophy.
So they're like, it's been a while. That's the quote. It's been a while.
It's just Q stained. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Since I could hold my head up high. There you go. Perfect song for Faker. That's what he's listening to.
There you go. So yeah, it is going to be a T1 win.
Any prediction on the scoreline?
It's going to be a 3-2. I feel like these games are going to...
Oh! T1 escapes 3 best of 5s going the distance.
It's not going to be... I feel like it's not going to be a straightaway win. If it is, I'll be super surprised. I'll be actually super excited. If you guys do that, please do that. Let me know. But it's not going to be an easy win. Like, all of these teams made it through groups. These are the top teams. It's not going to be a 3-0 win. If it is, wow. But yeah, there's going to be some heat here. Definitely heat.
Well, just to touch on mine very, 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 very fast. You and I actually had a very similar first game, JDG T1. Not going to go into too much debate on it, but I actually got a JDG 3-1 in that series. Then I got Gen G 3-2 over EDG because I had them. I had Gen G. You had Damwon, which is going to set up a Gen G JDG final. and that I have a 3-1 Gen G. So, you know who my crystal ball pick'em is siding with here, and that would be the LCK champions, Gen G. That's just.
I wasn't able to do a crystal ball pick because I completely forgot. So, but either way, my pick is always the same one every year. It is T1.
Quick, actually, this is a little something I added in here while we were doing our setup and whatnot. I got 4 questions from Worlds, and there's literally like a 2% chance you'd guess any of them right. I just figured to see if we'd be close. All right, 4 questions based on stats for Worlds. Who do you think has the most kills on the main stage? I'll give you a
player.
I'll give
player
you a
or a team.
As a player. I'll give you a hint. It's an 80 carry. I will give you a like roll. And bonus points if you can guess within like a couple of being like how many kills.
Oh, we have to give a number? Okay.
Yeah, but like if you're with okay, I'll be fair with it. If you guess like within a couple, I'll give you some credit.
Worlds.
It is an 80 carry.
It is an 80 carry, okay. I'm trying to go through my ADC list right now. I'm going to have to say that it is Sneaky with 360 kills.
Well, that's a very good guess, but I meant just for this Worlds.
Oh, this World. Oh, okay. I thought we were talking about all Worlds. I was like, I had to like.
Oh my god! You know what? Actually, like while you guess that, I'm going to see who has. No, I'm not gonna do it right now, but I will do it on the edit. I will find out who has the most kills at Worlds, and then I will throw that up there. No. I ain't gonna rack your brain that hard. Come on.
This Worlds. Okay.
It is an 80 carry. Yeah, every question is this Worlds.
This Worlds. Okay. I'm going to have to say it's going to be the JDG ADC with 110.
110 in 6 games?
Probably. I mean, depends how the games went.
Well, you are extremely off on both. It's actually Duck Dam from Damoin Kia, and he has 40.
He has 40?
40. That is the most kills among a player in group stage. 40.
40, Jesus.
Who has the most deaths in Worlds right now? Not champion. It is a support.
It is a support? Jesus.
It is a support. You'll be very disappointed.
Who he, 100 Thieves. 30, 20, I'll say 28.
I will give you credit for one because it's actually 29. And it's the support for the Flying Oysters, Koala. So you were very close on that. I was surprised you were only 1 off on that. Most assists. And it is a support.
It is support. Fuck. Who played Yumi? Who that played Yumi?
There was a lot of people that played Yumi in that tournament, unfortunately.
Honestly, you play Yumi, you get assist.
And you sometimes do like second damage on your team for whatever ungodly reason because you're building Ludens.
Was it Gen G that had Yumi? I'm trying to think. Or was it RNG? Brain power. I'm gonna go with Gen G and with I want to say 42.
Okay, well, I'll give you like half a point because you got the G right. It's actually JDG support missing. He had 88.
Did he have Yumi?
He did play Yumi a couple games. All right, and then the last question. This is the big one. This person is an 80 carry. He has the highest the highest KDA, and it was a 37-4 in 36 scoreline. An 18.3 KDA. It's the highest KDA on the world's main stage. Who is the AD carry? It is this world's, obviously.
Guma UC from T1.
You know what? You actually get extra points for that because you are absolutely correct. It was Guma Yusi. 37-4 in 36 and 18 KDA. So he died 4 times in 6 games. So it is confirmed he is a KDA player. He needs to have. They need to have a title for that in league, and he needs to be the only one who can use it.
Dude, you see everything else. I got what, half a point something, but T1 facts. Like I was like, shoot.
Okay. At least you get the T1 stuff right, though. You know,
that's all
so
that matters.
Yeah, that's all that matters for you. But all right, knocking it off into out of worlds talk, we have the new champion that was teased all over the place, not only during the world's broadcast, but Lil Nas X himself doing once again magic for the League of Legends community. Kasante, the new Shuriman tank, who oddly looks like Lil Nas X in a way. Big shocker, and the new Empryon skin coming out as well. What are your thoughts? What are your first initial thoughts on it?
When is Marvel gonna start suing?
Oh, Marvel.
When is the mouse gonna start suing?
Okay, that's fair. I was actually sold on this champion the moment I saw in the teaser that he could 1v1 Camille, because everybody knows if you're a tank and you play against Camille, you are not winning that matchup, no matter what. Especially if you play Ornn. Guys, if you play Ornn, never pick that into Camille because you will get absolutely crushed. There's no way.
Ornn or Camille, I hate you.
I love Ornn.
I hate you.
Ornn is fantastic. He is.
But no, so
1v9 tank.
So I'm very into like the artsy, you know, I like to draw, I like to do a lot of art stuff as well. Very creative when it comes to that stuff. When I saw his the model of it, the picture, the artwork, I was like, it kind of gives me an assassin top laner vibe, because he kind of has like the way in one picture he looks like Rengar in a position. He has kind of like that weird Rengar, but yeah, you get me.
Those weapons though.
Yeah.
We'll touch on those.
Like I was kind of like, it was giving me like that assassin type of look, but then it's also like he's a beefy person. Like he's a bruiser, and he gives me that tank fighter vibes a lot. I see this champ, and I honestly very impressed with the artwork that went into it, the coloring, the shading, and everything. It is pretty cool, really nice. I do see him the way that everybody tends to play League of Legends. He'll be played as a jungler. He will be played as a jungler.
A champion that looks incredibly busted. Must be a jungler.
Must be a jungler.
Well, speaking of jungle, we will be doing, I'm assuming, a preseason video probably once around the time the Worlds ends, and we get more information on that. So make sure to be on the lookout for that. Pretty much after Worlds, we'll probably have a little bit of a downtime as we like get prepared into the preseason, so we get some more information on it. So maybe we'll podcasts will probably be like once every 2 weeks as opposed to every week, or
we'll be getting some updates on who's leaving the team, who's getting kicked off, which recently breaking news, Papa Smitty is no longer with 100 Thieves.
Yes, whenever I saw it today, I'm thinking, oh my god, it just seems like yesterday he joined, and it's like, no, it's been like a few years. I'm thinking, what? It literally feels like yesterday.
I was like, didn't you just join, sir, like a year ago? But no, it's been a couple years already. And I kind of like, I had like boyfriend remind me, he's like, oh, yeah, Papa's, don't you remember when he announced his retirement, from broadcasting? I was like, wait, what? That was a couple years ago? Like, since when?
Yeah, it's definitely sucks to see, but this off season is going to be very, very interesting because there's a lot of North American teams that are really cutting back on their costs. I know Bjergsen is out of TL.
Yep.
Hansama's gone. Whippo wants to stay, but it's not guaranteed that he'll stay. I think once again it's a good move for TL for the fact that their roster had too much star power, too much ego, and just that's never gonna win. You cannot buy a championship roster. You just can't do it. You have to develop it, and hopefully, that will.
For sure, there's going to be a lot of cuts, and that will technically be talked about once we get into that postseason of Worlds before we start into the season. But there's also another breaking news was that Tyler 1 joined TSM.
E-Rob, Talwin's brother.
E-Rod.
It's E-Rob. Yeah, E-Rob joined it. Yeah. Oh no, because I saw the video trailer and I saw T1 and I thought.
Yeah, I was like on Twitter. It was like Tyler 1 joining. I was like, hold up.
It was a bait. It was in the thumbnail, but it was actually his brother E-Rob. So, yeah, E-Rob joining in as a content creator, which is pretty cool.
It is pretty good.
That whole T1's just.
Tyler 1 left T1 though, right?
Yeah, him and T1. Yeah, they ended their contract for like content creating, but it's funny because him and Faker did a lot of very cool things together.
Oh yeah, it was pretty funny.
When they went to the Heart Attack Grill, and we get to watch Tyler 1 get spanked while Faker records it. Absolute wonderful moment. But
amazing.
Yeah, last topic of the day we got, since we're going to be talking about the end of the season. For like the off-season rumors is also one thing, and it's the end of the ranked season that's coming up. We have finally found our victorious skin for this year, and it is Sejuani, a champion that I really want that skin for, so I'm forced to climb ranked. And
you are forced to grind, sir. Riot has found your weakness and said you are going to work for it.
See, last year being Blitzcrank, I was like, I don't care. I don't play Blitz, but the fact that I love Sejuani, damn it, Riot, you're actually making me play the game. Got a little bit less than a month to do it. I don't got too far to climb. I'm Silver 2 right now, so we'll get there. But
we're not gonna even talk about it.
Are you attempting to go for the grind to push to that next tier, or are you kind of waving the white flag and gonna try again next year?
It's 50-50. Like every time I get into League, it's like I'm gonna play a rank, and then next, my teammates just make me depressed. And this is where, I'm like, you know what? Let me go back to TFT.
TFT, the ultimate detilter. And then you see somebody who is running busted comps, and then it tilts you even more because LOL have to do meta things to beat me. Copium. But
yeah, I'm not pretty, as you are more excited to rank. Like, if they would have said, hey, we're going to do an MF, I would have been like,
oh, yeah. Yeah, but
energy drink, let's go.
Yeah, you give me a Sejuani skin, chance to get it for free, I will absolutely do that. But, yep, so.
I would have been like.
I'm all for it.
I'm so sad.
But it seems like we made it to the end of our list today. Is there anything that you would like to say before we send her off?
League of Legends players, make sure you stretch, drink water, and yeah, that's it.
Yep, make sure you stay hydrated. Make sure your mental is right. Go get those gains. Go get those LP. Go get that free victorious skin to celebrate the fact that life League of Legends, and then we get to do it all over again in the next season. So we'll join you next week for the results of the quarterfinals. We take a look more into the semifinal matchups. That is Chulis. I am Emperor, and we will see you in the next episode of the Super Mega Death Podcast. Now get out of here.